As if pulled by an irresistible force of gravity, we are back at that train car in the woods. We have already glimpsed this crime scene through police report,
Fire, walk with me.
flashback, and gruesome reenactment.
God, oh my God!
Why are we here again? Many viewers conclude that this scene is redundant, even sadistic. Dramatically necessary, perhaps, for a prequel, but depressingly literal in its depiction of Twin Peaks' central event. Beyond the blood, the screams, the pulsating cuts, and overwhelming soundtrack, scattered throughout the chaos of this sequence, clues suggest something much bigger is going on.
Look at me!
And that Laura's journey, and our own, will not be in vain. These clues are not in the screenplay. As originally written, Laura demands that Bob kill her. Ronette Pulaski opens the door to the train car with her feet, and then falls out. Philip Gerard peers in through the open door, while Laura dies. In the Red Room, Mike demands his Garmonbozia from Bob. The word will be defined in a subtitle as simply corn. The script then flashes forward, past the end of the series, to visit Annie and Evil Cooper. Having dispatched Laura for the final time, this version of the story is already eagerly looking forward to possible sequels. One last glimpse of Laura remains, in the Red Room, sitting on Cooper's lap. Just the two of them. As planned, the film would end on this quiet, melancholy note. The absurd, spooky image of Mike's beloved Garmonbozia remains undefined. The ring, last seen in Laura's vision, does not make any climactic appearance, and the angels are gone, as they were through the entirety of the shooting script. Laura demands to die and gets her wish. No larger purpose is apparent except to set up the series that has already taken place. Much of the film was shot in sequence, starting with Deer Meadow exteriors in late summer and ending with the train car soundstage on Halloween. To a certain extent, the flow of the film's story reflects its own making. Scenes were added and scenes were changed, some as late as post-production. Surprisingly, for a director who hates to discuss meaning, Lynch actually tells us what Garmonbozia is.
I want all my Garmonbozia.
True to form, Lynch was discovering his story in the process of telling it. What he discovered was the inner life of Laura Palmer. And he discovered this through Sheryl Lee. Lee was guided by the secret diary of Laura Palmer, and together, she and David Lynch plunged into the reality of a character whose presence permeated the production.
Sheryl Lee, I've never seen an actress go through so much torment to get Laura Palmer out.
You willing to go all the way? Huh? You gonna do it to me?
And we all were feeling sorry for her because she was a wreck by the time we finished that film.
They would roll for a long, long time, and they would really get into it, and I think it would take Sheryl a long time to calm down afterwards. I mean, she really, really got into it. But even for us, you know, just being there, it's really disturbing to witness.
The film demanded more than was provided by its blueprint.
I just remember feeling that I knew that Laura was going to go through all of this stuff. And I just kept kind of saying to David, I want to find, it's not that you can find a reason why somebody goes through this stuff. Somewhere I wanted to still feel a sense of hope. You know, to not just have it end with, that was the end, that was her life, that somewhere, somehow, some way, her hope or her spirit could live on.
Slowly, the angels emerged. No one, perhaps not even David Lynch himself, can explain everything that happens in his movies. The imagery is suggestive without being conclusive, and we must make our own interpretations. Laura believes the angels have abandoned her, and blames herself for her own loneliness. The angels have not gone away, but they are only visible to those who can see past the limits of their own reality.
That's only because you won't let me in on any of it. You're not going to see Bobby, are you?
Laura, who despises herself, cannot share Ronette's desperate faith, and because her own father is her tormentor, she could never speak the words of her friend's prayer.
Mother!
But can she hear them? The ring has reanimated frozen limbs, offered travel between worlds, and accompanied knowledge and power over Leland and Bob. Unlike the ceiling fan and the record player, it is a circle characterized by stillness rather than perpetual motion, promising an order and unity absent from Laura's own life. Mike wields the ring, but in this moment, he is locked out of the train car by Bob. Fear has closed this door. What can open it? Laura is trapped not only in the train car, but also in her illusion of a closed, hostile, fragmented world around her, what Hindu tradition would call Maya. There is a way out. Moksha breaks samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth, and it reunites Atman, the little self, with Brahman, the big self, the one behind the many.
When there are chances for reflections, there can always be two or more. Only when we are everywhere will there be just one.
David Lynch has subsequently hinted that this is precisely what Laura discovers at the end of Firewalk with Me.
And then there was a time when I cried because I was so happy. Because I saw what it was. And it was so beautiful. I was awake.
But with Bob's voice spilling poison in her ear, what hope does she have to escape this trap? Bob's voice is not the only one in the train car. Ronette cannot help Laura, but can Laura help Ronette? Is Ronette, whom Laura views as a corrupted self, even worth saving? Earlier in the film, in a flash of white light, Laura leapt to the rescue of Donna, her idealized self. Now her hands are tied, but Laura sees her friend's tears. She hears her cries for help. At the end of the movie, Ronette looks dead. Only the full context of the series tells us that she survives. And because of Lynch's last-minute revisions to the final episode, we even know that she recovers. But how does she escape the train car? And how does Laura finally defeat Bob? Bob cannot possess Laura, and Leland cannot control her, only because she takes the ring. Laura is able to take this ring only because Ronette opens the train car door. Ronette opens this door only because her hands are untied. I believe that Laura Palmer has brought this angel into the train car to save Ronette. Whether or not she realizes this, Laura's love is stronger than her fear. Superficially, she will die for this. Fundamentally, she is freeing herself. Fire Walk with Me offers us one final surprise. In the Red Room, Laura is seated next to Agent Cooper. Despite his mistakes, missteps, and misunderstandings, Cooper is here in this moment to reassure Laura, to tell her that her pain is over, and to guide her into understanding what she has accomplished. The angel has returned, and when she sees the one that's meant to help her, Laura Palmer will weep with joy. In one of the most poetic interpretations of Fire Walk with Me, Hussein Ibish concludes, "I think what she's looking at is not exactly an angel, but in fact, or also, a television. And what she's watching is Twin Peaks, crying at her own tragedy and the grief of her friends and family, laughing at the absurdities and the eccentricities of her friends and neighbors, and probably validated by the impact that her murder had on her community." The incoherent television snow of the opening credits is now filled up with her presence. The redemption here may not only be for Laura Palmer, but also for Twin Peaks.